Hello, this is Craig, and I would like to talk about innovation in games. This is the toy that I've been working on. It's a beat 'em up like toy. You can't really call it a game, but you'll notice that I've added the typical health bars and falling down and that sort of thing. Those sorts of staples are part of virtually every game, let alone every beat 'em up. But I've also added something that astute readers or astute watchers may have noticed in the upper left-hand corner. There's a green bar which increases as I deal damage and decreases as I take damage. This is what we in the industry call a God Hand meter, or a God Hand level indicator. By we in the industry, I mean me. God Hand pioneered this particular play element, and I think it's just a shame that it's not implemented in more games, especially beat 'em ups where it fits in nicely. The idea behind a God Hand level indicator is that the higher your level, the more difficult the enemies get. So it's a way of controlling the difficulty of the game inside the game while you're playing it, and it fits very, very well into this kind of beat 'em up. It allows you to take challenges when you think you can, and to back off and drop to a lower level by taking a couple hits, and then not struggling to get back up. It adds a tactical element to the difficulty, which is missing in most of these beat 'em ups, and it just makes the beat 'em up so much deeper. So I am fully in favor of this kind of play element. The question is, why hasn't this been seen anywhere besides God Hand? The only thing I can think of is that as game developers, we tend to be very staid. If we didn't invent it, it has to be part of the industry standard. Those are the only two options: something we invent or the industry standard. So when you see a beat 'em up, it's usually the industry standard plus maybe one thing that the game developer invented themselves. I think that that's a real shame. There are 100,000 game developers out there, and you can't possibly actually think that you are going to be cleverer than 100,000 people working at the same problem. You're not 100,000 times smarter than the other people in the industry. I don't think anyone is 100,000 times smarter than anyone. So you'd be an idiot not to take their innovations where you can find them and just include them whole in your games, as I've done here, to the point where if you can reach level 4, it's actually called level die, just like in God Hand. And I feel no shame about that, and I don't think anyone else should either. It's a fundamental gameplay mechanic, and it fits very well, and you should use these things when you find them. If someone has innovated a new kind of gameplay, it's not like it's theirs alone. You can use it to improve your games as well, and you should, if you think the innovation is worthwhile. Add your own twists when you can come up with them, but don't ignore the twists that have been pioneered by the clever people who have come ahead of you. As it stands, I can only barely reach level die when I'm not talking, and I doubt I can do it while I am talking, but as it goes up, the enemies get faster, they hit harder, and I'll probably make it so that they have different weapons or spawn in different kinds of categories. Ah, there we are, I hit level die. They now move literally twice as fast. They are as fast as me while I'm dashing, and their attacks take half the frames. So one hit will knock me down there. See, I'm already at the edge of death, and I'm almost about to fall out of level die. So the idea of beating the game while on level die is a challenge that expert players can take, and it adds a whole new dimension, and you can give different rewards to different people depending on whether an enemy dies on a lower level or a higher level. It's a negative feedback loop, extremely useful. If the enemy dies while you're on level 1, the enemy can drop useful power-ups like health or upgrades to weapons or invulnerability. If you kill it while it's on level die, it should drop things like meta tokens or things that don't make the game easier, but instead make the game different. These sorts of innovations are all around us. You can find them in many, many games, both indie and AAA, and there should be absolutely no shame in incorporating them into your own designs if they fit.